Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the G Perspective. I am your host, George Michael Perez, aka GMike. Y'all already know what it is, baby. This week, I'm bringing on one of my boys of multiple years now, Joshua Vizcaino. We talk about the Miami Dolphins and how the upcoming season looks for them, and the whole KD and Brooklyn Nets owner saga that's going on right now. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. You guys know where you can follow me on Twitter at George Mike Perez, IG, TikTok, YouTube at GMike Media _, and the audio version of the podcast under the G Perspective on all podcast platforms. Hope you guys enjoy this episode like I did. Hope you guys subscribe and leave some reviews, leave some comments, talk some shit to me if you want. But hey, a little interaction here and there is awesome. Appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoy. My boy Josh in the building, man. How you doing?
What's up, my brother? How are you?
Good, man. You know, living life, working hard, just like you. I know you be working hard.
It's the only way. We gotta grind now. So when we're in our 40s and 50s, we can only do this and be talking crap with each other. You get me?
Yeah, man. Trying to live that P Diddy lifestyle. Sheesh. Go to islands every other weekend.
I'm trying to live his son's lifestyles.
Oh yeah, that new song you dropped with Kodak. You heard that? Can't stop, won't stop. Fire, bro.
Yeah,
And the video is lit too.
They're bringing back the old school vibe. I like it.
Yeah, bro. Hell yeah. The early 2000s, mid 2000s, fire.
And we had to support the Florida boy Kodak.
All day. He's a genius though. What is he, like 22, 23 years old?
I love him, man. I love him as an artist. I'm just scared that we will see him spend the rest of his life in jail, and I hope he just gets his mind frame right, which isn't easy coming from where he comes from. I'm sure other people see it and they're like, this kid, he acts so stupid, which he does. But coming from where he comes from, I'm sure, we were born and raised in Miami. We saw different stuff, and we were born and raised with both our parents, still decent neighborhoods. So I can't even imagine all the stuff he's gone through. So I'm sure that mind frame to do a whole 360, it can't be simple.
No, yeah, facts. But I'm on the same boat with you, man. Hopefully he goes and he gets his mind right, because his music career, it's already on and popping. So I imagine later on. So it'll be crazy. But ladies and gentlemen, my boy Joshua Vizcaino. If I said it wrong, correct me. I think he's Italian.
It's good.
It is good.
However it comes out is the right way, baby.
Been boys for multiple years now. Big Miami Dolphins fan. We'll get into that a little later. Tremendo storyteller. I'm surprised this guy has not written a book yet. I don't know why. I don't know what he's waiting on. He's a man of making money, so you got to get on that. But yeah, today, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. I know you busy man with all the work that you're doing, so I appreciate your time. So we'll get right into it. Biggest rumor this week, man, is Kevin Durant, what he's been saying about the Nets organization. Rumor has it that he said that head coach Steve Nash should be fired, or if not, he's leaving. And to me, that's crazy. He tried to give an ultimatum to an NBA owner, right? But the NBA owner came back, retaliated. Joseph C. Swain, hopefully I said that right. He tweeted out, "Our front office and coaching staff have my support. We will make decisions in the best interest of the Brooklyn Nets." Real quick, before we get in the nitty and gritty and all that, Josh, what do you think about the situation, bro?
I think it's always hard to tell a billionaire what to do. Right? Like we were talking before we got on. Men already have that pride issue. So imagine a dude that has everything. And KD's always been super outspoken. I don't want to say emotional, because I feel like he just wears his stuff on his sleeve. He's gonna say whatever he wants. But I think it's hard for an owner to ever go against not even just a head coach, but anyone in your staff. Because if you go, let's say let's say he didn't like Steve Nash and he's like, oh, whatever. I mean, technically, if you ask me, I'm like, get rid of Steve. If it means him, Kevin Durant, to be real. But then the issue is you get rid of Steve, that's your head coach. So now everyone else is like, damn, what happens if KD turns around? He's like, I don't like Michael. I don't like Chandler, like whoever it is, So if you get rid of the head coach, where do you go from there? Right. Or if you bring on a new head coach, what if KD doesn't like that one? He's going to say the coach to bring on now. I don't know. That's as an owner, I think you always have to be conservative and be with your staff. If you exit away from the staff, now you're just going to have even more yes men, because there's not a lot of people that are going to talk up to the owner and say like, oh, XYZ, I think should be changed. You know how it is in that industry. Everyone's pretty like duck low. So I think he was correct in what he brought out, because you have to, even if he doesn't mean it, and I don't think he means it. I think in the back of his mind, he's like, there's no way I'm letting KD go. So,
right.
Realistically, because you don't just like, oh, okay, you don't want to be here, cool, bounce. But you can't show that weakness to your staff.
No, especially publicly. Like, you're not going to want to say that on Twitter, which is one of the most social media platforms that is used to this day, especially expressing opinions, sharing articles, giving information, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't want to be showcasing that on a public stage. Maybe behind closed doors, you're talking with the coaching staff, like, look, Pablo, KD said it's you or him. I'm choosing him, Pablo. You got to get hit the road. You know what I'm saying? So maybe behind closed doors, you do that. But, it's a given. It's a NBA players league right now. Like, these owners, these coaches, they do a lot of stuff for the players. KD, arguably top 5 player in the NBA right now. So a lot of people are going to, bow down to him and give him the money that he wants, give him the signing that he wants, the years that he wants. But as an owner, I'm on the same boat with you. I respect him for supporting his coaching staff, because you don't want a player to dictate what is going on. And I feel like the only player that does that now is LeBron James with the LA Lakers. Obviously, that's well known. That's showcased.
That's showcased, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want a lot of players doing that in the league, because at the end of the day, these players are your employees. Yes, you want to hear them out. You want to hear their suggestions, their advice, and this and that. But at the end of the day, ultimately, you're gonna make the decision on what you want. And Steve Nash, he's still a rookie head coach. Like, he's only been coaching for a few years. It's not like he has the whole blueprint on how to win an NBA championship. And defending him a little bit, it's not his fault that you guys got swept against the Boston Celtics in the first round. Like, Kyrie barely played the whole season, so that chemistry was off. Ben Simmons got traded over on what he wanted to go and play for a new team, and then, I got back issues and this and that. I guess you got back issues, sure. So he doesn't play, and then KD got to be the man on the floor that got to play make, got to score, got to defend, got to rebound, got to coach on the floor. Like, dude, it's just a lot. So you can't really put the blame on KD or Steve Nash on why they haven't been as successful as they want, because for them, it's NBA championship or bust. But I agree with you. I think the owner did the right thing, supporting his coaching staff. And even if he supports his coaching staff like that, that doesn't mean that he doesn't support KD. He's just letting everybody know, the coaching staff have my support. So I want everyone around the league to know that.
KD balled out, right? And KD, you can put KD out there on one leg and just post him up on the 3, and he's going to give you 22 a game. Like, he has it in him, right? He's one of those special type of players where everything gets mixed up, and I don't want to make it a LeBron or KD, back and forth. Mm-hmm. But I think LeBron has gotten that just due, because realistically, LeBron was the first to sort of bring the chips to the table, switch things around how he wanted to, and it worked, right? LeBron is the only dude in the NBA that we look at. I don't think LeBron is the best player in the NBA right now, but I think he gets all of that credit from coaching staffs, from owners, because no matter who's on his squad, he makes it the best possible.
Yeah.
He's the only player that has gotten matched up with who knows who, some way, somehow he makes it work. Did it work last year? Of course not. And Kevin Durant is an awesome player. You know, to me, like when I think basketball biology and I'm like, damn, who's the perfect player? I think of KD. Long range. The shot is impeccable. He'll shoot your face off from 40 feet if it was that type of night. He's still super long. He's an awesome basketball player, but that doesn't mean that you mesh well with people. Like he's more of a scorer. We people get on LeBron for, hey, you're not an awesome scorer. Cool. But he's just, I heard something the other day from a football coach. I don't even remember his name. And he said something very powerful to high school and college players. He said, I will ask you, are you a position player or are you a football player? And it's the truth. Do you come to a coach and you say, I'm a safety, or I'm a running back, I'm a wide receiver? Or do you come to a coach like, yo, I'm a football player, I'm going to get it done no matter where you need me? And that's where I think that's just the line with LeBron. At the end of the day, if KD tells Brooklyn, hey, I'm going to play with you guys, I'm going to play out this contract, but get Steve out of here, behind closed doors, you know, we'll see something come up on Bleacher Report like, oh, something went south.
Steve Nash stepped down.
Yeah. You know, we'll see something like that. So I don't think it's going to necessarily be an issue if KD wants to stay. If KD really wants to leave, he's going to end up leaving. But I personally don't think it's going to be within this next year. Okay. I think the organization talks to him and he's like, you know, sort of groom it over and say, hey, we get it. It didn't work out. Harden left. Ben, who knows what's going to happen. And that's the difference between being a good basketball player and really loving the game. Things like that. Like Ben Simmons coming onto a new squad, being in the playoffs, and you're like, ow, I tweaked my back when you're like 6'7", you know.
When you haven't played in over a year.
But as well, you know, things go on that we don't know about, right?
Yeah, true,
so
true.
I like to play devil's advocate, but there's been guys, you know, you see in the playoffs every year. There's guys that really shouldn't be out there, and they're out there playing. So I don't know. It's always a slippery slope when you start talking about injuries and stuff like that. But I think of the organization standpoint, this is, you said at the beginning, this is a stars league. So when you have Kevin Durant, even Kyrie, as much as he's filled with drama, he's very opinionated, he is a spectacular basketball player when he's in his bag. But I do think he needs Kevin. He needs Kevin way more than Kevin needs him.
Yeah.
Kyrie, it's shown us he's never been able to really go a full season dolo. It just doesn't work. He's a little frame. Even Steph Curry, to a certain point, those smaller guys, when you start getting more bumps in there, when it starts getting into playoffs and they're just focused on you and you're the star, they start to weigh on you on purpose. So I think Kevin Durant, no matter where he lands, he's going to be Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
But we shall see.
Yeah, going back to the injury part that you brought up. So yesterday I was watching the first episode of Hard Knocks on the Detroit Lions. Great first episode, by the way, on HBO Max. Not a plug-in. I'm not getting paid for that advertisement, by the way.
You need it.
Right? The head coach, Dan Campbell, he says something about injuries. He goes, this is the first day of camp. You are 100% right now. you will not be 100% until March comes through next year. And that's, bro, those are facts right there, because you go into training camp 100%. You've been working out the whole summer and this and that. You're doing all this stuff, all this therapy. And then after the first day, that first day sucks, man. You get tired, your legs get sore, you start feeling your hammy tighten up and all this and that. And the same thing comes with the NBA, bro. When the season starts, yeah, you're 100%. But when the playoffs comes around, there's no excuses of, oh, I'm injured in this entire. Every team is tired, exhausted, and injured, have injury prone players and shit like that. So with Ben Simmons saying that, yo, I can't play, my back is tweaking and this and that. Don't get me wrong, the back is a fucking part of the body that you do not want to fuck with. I know that firsthand. But dude, like, you have not played in over a year. This team needed you in the first round. Like, you could have gone out there and tried a little bit. I don't know. Like you said, we don't know what is really going on because we're not there firsthand with the team. But imagine if he's there healthy playing. KD stays another year. Kyrie stays another year because he's uncertain as well. They still keep Steve Nash, and then they try to run it back. They have that chemistry going already with the head coach, with the star players. They bring in Ben, they incorporate him, and they try to get this bench going. Dude, they can make some noise, man. They can make some noise in the East. Even though you got Miami
That's
up
the
there.
key.
Yeah, yeah. The Heat, you got the Celtics, you got the Bucks, you got Philly. I would even include the Cavs in that because the Cavs are freaking phenomenal with Jared Allen under the rim. But imagine Brooklyn keeps their team together right now, and they go into the season. Yo, they have a lot of promise, bro.
And
So
Kyrie wants to play off the ball.
yeah,
So it's like technically awesome for Ben to be there.
yep.
You're scared to shoot? Cool. We have Kevin Durant. Like, you don't have to shoot anymore, right? Maybe just practice your free throws for when they hack you. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But if he realistically, I think he's a good point guard.
No,
He's
facts,
huge.
100%.
He's huge.
And defensive monster.
Defensively, there are no questions about him. If somebody is to come on any type of podcast or any show and try to say something about him defensively, you have something against him.
Yeah, facts.
I don't think he's the toughest dude in the world, and I don't mean physically, I mean mentally.
That's
Then,
okay. That's okay.
I've never had millions of people making fun of me on my jump shot, and that's what I do
Uh-huh.
my job. So I can't say I wouldn't act like he is. But I think realistically, like, if they have a normal season together, because now look, NBA came back on and they doubled down on the vaccines, I believe.
For
So
Canada, you can't. Canada said that you cannot play in their country if you're not vaccinated. But
just
that's
can't.
only one team, though. Yeah, just Canada.
Okay, so if we take out the whole vaccine stuff and Kyrie's gonna play, and they actually play together, even in the West, you look at those three players and you're like, that's a good lineup.
Yep.
Now in the East, you're looking like you're going to dominate. You can say, hey, Giannis is great. I don't believe Milwaukee is that same Milwaukee from when they won. They lost some pieces. I just don't see how, if it meshes and barring injury, I don't see how any team realistically in the East is gonna go head up and win 4 games against Brooklyn. Kyrie and KD aren't gonna give you like the best defense in the world, but they're gonna more than likely combine for 50 every single game.
Yep.
And then you have Ben to go out there, and he doesn't have to guard your point guard. He can guard whoever the hell you want him to guard.
The best player. I'll put him on the best player.
You get me? So they have their things to switch up. And I've never, once everything was happening with him and the 76ers, all I was thinking, I mean, I definitely didn't want him in Miami. And I don't even think that was ever going to be a possibility because of his mind frame. You already coming with that mind frame. We don't want you in Miami.
No, yeah, man, Miami is not the place for you.
We want goons over here that, whatever. We want people that miss 13 shots and come out in the half and shoot another 13. We don't, if we're gonna lose on your shield.
We're gonna lose swing.
Yeah. But I think if they get their stuff together and they actually want to play, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. And I don't see it in any other way, especially in the East. I just don't. And obviously, I'm a Heat fan, but if they come out and it's them three, we're not beating them. I'll be real.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. 100%. It's gonna be tough. Yeah. I mean, before we go on and talk about the Dolphins, just to clarify real quick. So, if you're the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, what do you do? And let's say these rumors are true that KD did say this, because I have not seen him or heard him come out and say these things. So, could have been behind closed doors. But if you're the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, you, Joshua Vizcaino, do you keep KD and fire Steve Nash? Or do you trust in your head coach and trade away KD for some key pieces? Because there's a lot of pieces to get back for KD.
There's pieces, but you're never going to get back. In all of these star trades that we see, no matter who it is, you're never going to get back that player. The sad part is he has like 4 years left on his contract.
Yep.
That's why I believe it won't happen this year. If I'm the owner, I'm calling Steve Nash and I'm like, sorry, Papa.
Right?
Hey, like you did your best. I gave you the opportunity, but this dude over here that's 7 feet and has the wingspan of a pterodactyl, I'm not getting rid of it. It just you can't. You're even with the pieces. Like I was looking at the teams that were offering stuff, and then look, of course, me biasly, I'm like, there's a lot of dudes I give up on the Heat to bring in Kevin Durant.
Facts. The only ones I won't give up is Jimmy and Ben.
To be real, the only two I won't give up is Jimmy and Hero. After me personally, now this is just me.
Yeah, I get it.
The Miami Heat, everything to me is about organization. And I'm gonna get more into that on the Dolphins because as you know, I've been Unfortunately, I'm a Dolphin fan. But to me, organization is everything. Look at it like, where's Kendrick Nunn at?
LA.
Did he play?
Supposedly it was because of injury. Obviously, we don't know the truth, but injury.
We time and time again in the Miami Heat organization bring players that nobody has a clue who they are. They come in good shape because that's what we preach here. If you're not in shape, you're not playing.
Below 5% body fat.
You get me? And at the end of the day, we got Pat Riley. I've been scared that we haven't heard nothing on the Kevin Durant thing. We haven't heard nothing from the Heat. So I personally believe Pat's on the phone trying to figure out something because nothing has came out on our part.
Yeah.
And I love Bam because of his hustle. But last year showed me it's going to be very hard for him to be a 5 in our league. On top of his size, he's very physical. And then he's always going to be more so of a defensive player. So I think even he's expendable. But then even look at us. We say like, oh, we're deep with talent. But even if we were to give them Bam, let's throw in Hero, get Kyle out of here.
Get him out of here.
Let's say if we were like Duncan Robinson, like let's say if we were to really give them all of our young talent, and that's that I think our nucleus is really good, bro, it's still not Kevin Durant. I'm still getting Kevin Durant. I'm like, oh my God, we got KD for these guys. Like,
yeah.
So if I'm the owner to Brooklyn, I'm making that phone call to Steve, and I'm like, hey, if I can make it up to you some other way, I will. And this didn't go as planned, but there's no way I'm personally getting rid of KD, especially that I have him locked in for the 4 more years. If you can make him happy, because we may see a lot of like drama and headlines with Kevin Durant, and a lot of people get on him about him going to Golden State, and to a certain extent, so did I. But when he was there with Golden State, did we ever hear anything from KD?
No.
Bro, he was just playing ball. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to go out there, play organized, good basketball with players that are obviously not at his caliber, because who the hell is there? But to be taken serious, I'm sure in his mind too, he's like, I want to go get one without these boys. And then he just saw the Warriors go get another one. So it's like, ha ha, like we don't necessarily need you.
Aha.
You know? So I'm sure he looks at that from a competitive standpoint. He's like, man, I got to go get mine. And maybe he feels a little bit like, hey, these people here are bullshitting. Not the organization, but what he went through with Kyrie. And I'm not saying Kyrie's wrong for not getting the vaccine. That goes on personal opinion.
Yeah, it's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, I'm not vaccinated, so I can't get on him for it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's like if I tell you right now, oh my God, George, we're going to start this amazing podcast from all the work you've done, and we're going to have all of this funded, and we're going to have a whole bunch of people. And then me and you get on there for 2 months, and I'm like, no big deal. I'm just not going to be on the podcast because I have such and such going on.
Yeah, it'll be a letdown to me. It'll be a letdown to the producers, to everybody else around us.
You're like, all right, cool. Back to G perspective, homie. Like, I'm out of here if it's not what we planned. So I don't see anyone's wrong. I don't think KD's necessarily wrong. But I also don't think all the other teams are super. Everyone's going to be hyped to possibly get Kevin Durant, but they're also looking at it like, when does it stop? He's got 4 more years on the contract and he's already like, get me out of here. To a certain point, like, you have to honor your contract. And I get we want to give the players a lot of power, which I think they deserve. But as well, if you let that become a big thing,
just slippery slope, like you said.
These owners are going to start offering you less money. The perks that you get aren't going to be as great, because at the end of the day, they're thinking now, like, there's a chance, more than likely, we lose money. And billionaires are not in the business of losing money
At all.
They're not for that. Unless you're really the only way they want to lose that bread is if they're putting together an awesome team that they're like, we're gonna go win a championship or the Super Bowl, whatever it may be. But to just lose bread like on a contract and let you go, hell no.
Yeah. So I'm on the same boat with you, right? I'm choosing KD over Nash any day of the week. Twice on Sunday, we'll go to church and I'll sign that shit right now. I don't give a fuck. But I'm a giving person to a certain extent. So whatever a person around me, and you know this for a second, whatever a person around me wants something, I'm gonna try and give it to them, right? So if KD really is coming up to me, I'm the owner, I'm chilling in the office, the boy comes in, he's like, yo, I gotta talk to you. Yo, I want out. And I ask him, like, you really want out, or you're just saying it because of certain issues and stuff that I could work with, try to fix it, try to keep you. But he's telling me, no, I want out. I want to go to another city. I want to play for another team and this and that. I'm going to give you what you want. I'm going to try my best to give you what you want, to try to get a trade package for us that's going to benefit us 100%, that we're going to win the fucking trade. Even though I agree with you, it's going to be hard to win a trade when you're like letting go of a star talent like that.
You break even.
Yeah, exactly. That's winning the fucking trade. So I'm going to do my best to win that trade, to get that even and give you what you want, just because I'm that type of person. Now, speaking on this guy, the actual owner of the fucking Brooklyn Nets, If he doesn't want to do that, bro, I'm choosing KD over Nash any day of the week, bro. 100%.
Yeah, bro.
It's
It could be Steve Nash in his third year still playing. I'm still picking KD.
his MVP year, 2000,
Like,
2007, 2009, whatever the fuck that was.
yeah, if you're talking about winning, you keep Kevin Durant. If you really think it's to the point now, there's other forces that may be. If you start getting calls like, boss man, this dude's not showing up to practice.
Yeah, that's different.
And then you see he's disengaged, then you don't want it to become a cancer in your locker room.
Like James Harden in Houston.
But I personally, I don't think Kevin Durant would do that.
I don't think so either. I think he likes to ball too much. I think he'll be like, well,
yeah,
this is the only place I could ball at? Fuck it.
Yeah, and he's just going to go out there. And to be real, it'll be scary to see Kevin Durant play angry, right? Like, he's very, like, on the court, he's very docile, because he's very finesse. But we've never seen, obviously, the Golden State years, but I mean, I could act like a badass on that Golden State team and knock down some shots. But we've never really seen him like put on that coat and really wear the bad guy stuff. He went off with like the whole cupcake KD stuff.
Yeah.
We've never seen him like really, like how when LeBron came here to Miami, when he was like, whatever, I'll be the villain. Cool. I would honestly love to see that Kevin Durant.
Yeah, same.
Me as a basketball fan, like KD could realistically go out there every night and embarrass you. He can make you feel like he is to an extent unguardable. There's only special players that are going to be able to put some type of defense on him. And I'm not talking about him just having an off shooting night and you being in front of him. I'm talking about like you stripping him, dominating him. It just, we've never seen that.
Yeah.
Game. Somebody like man up on KD, like you're not scoring. It's impossible.
Yeah. So I don't got this. I gotta upgrade this damn Zoom to Pro, man, because goddamn, I hate this damn timer, man. It should be making me rush. But yeah, we got under 8 minutes here, so we're gonna jump into the Miami Dolphins. They've done some good moves. You got a star wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. You've got Chase Edmonds, who played in the Arizona Cardinals last year. You got Raheem Mostert, which kind of injury prone right now because of the last 2 seasons. But before that, he was a great running back. Played great in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, but they lost. How you feeling about the Fins this year, bro?
Just from me being,
you see the timer, right?
Yeah, just for me being a fan for a long time. I always have to play both sides with the Dolphins. I love Tua. I think he's a great kid. I think he has immense talent. It scares the hell out of me that he's so small. We still haven't seen him go a whole season, right? So, first year head coach, everyone on ESPN is like, oh, an offensive-minded head coach. And I'm like, bro, this guy was in San Fran. Like, let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah. They were nasty. They had nasty offense.
But I think everything depends on Tua this year. We're putting the weapons around him. Obviously, we don't even have to talk about the Tyreek Hill thing. We have little Waddle on the other side. He's awesome. The only one guy that I think we'll miss, and either way, we always have a lot of like little talented running backs / receivers. We just always end up having a plethora of those. But I'm gonna miss Lindsey.
Philip Lindsay?
Yeah, just his and it may sound dumb to some people, but when you're at every home game, as you know, that I torture myself sometimes, and we have our season tickets, but when you're watching every game, you start really noticing like, I want my players to play out there like they're in practice. And that's going to sound stupid to some people, but you being from a football standpoint, you understand that in practice, they tell you all the time, you can't get lazy, because once you get lazy, that's when you get hurt.
You gotta play like you're playing in the game
So
always.
everyone in practice, and then you're trying to stunt in practice too, because you're trying to get that playing time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that kid did every time he came out. I don't think we should necessarily change anything. I think our defense is always going to be our ground of stability. But this year, really everything, like all the moves we've made on offense, with bringing in the new left tackle, bringing in the new receivers and running backs that we did, this is the year that Tua is also off his injury, right? Because I think that was a big thing too. Everyone expects you to, first of all, nobody just comes into the league as a quarterback and lights the league up. It just doesn't work like that, right? And he sort of jinxed himself. He did good the first couple of games. Then he was like, oh, the NFL's easy. And then bang, bang, he started getting the wasabi. But that's just how it is. I think he's a great talent. I think people exaggerate the arm strength thing. I'm not saying he has a cannon by any standpoint, but I think he's very accurate. And with this,
100%.
with the speed that we have, I think it's going to be detrimental. We brought back Gesicki. I can't praise him enough. I think he's an awesome player. And then with the two fast guys that we have now on the sides, I think we're going to see him have a really good season, because a lot of defenses are going to be focused on these boys cutting through the field, and they're going to forget about that big target that we have as well. The playoff thing to me is sticky.
I was about to ask that, man. 3 minutes left. I was like, I don't know.
That's a tough one. Just because I am a fan, I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say it really depends on how we start the season. Like I said, we have the season tickets. Our first home game is the Patriots. Then we go see the Ravens, and then we're back home for the Bills, and then Cincinnati. So it's like,
that's 4 tough teams you're playing right in the beginning, bro. They tried, y'all.
Exactly. So we can like either start off and everyone look at us like, holy shit, these boys came to play, or we could also start like, it's the Dolphins. We'll get them next year. So, yeah.
Hey, I love it though, man. I love the respect, the love and care you have for your team, for sure, 100%. I'm the same way with the Dallas Cowboys. That's a whole different other story. But just like you said, man, it's gonna be tough for you guys in the playoffs, just because the AFC is deep as hell, and then your division. I see Buffalo winning that division 100%. So hopefully you guys could get that wild card spot, because the Patriots and Jets, they're kind of right now. I think the Dolphins are ahead of them 100%. But it's like you said, it's how you come out and play, because you can't play catch up. You can't go down 1-3, or like last season, you guys, or the year before that, you guys were down 1-7, and then you came back and won 6 straight. And it's like, dude, like you can't do that. You gotta start off strong, and then if at the end of the season you're like 10-2 or 10-3 or whatever it is, and you're going down in the season, it's like, okay, maybe we could let up a little bit for now, because we still got that playoff hope, that playoff chance, that place, and so we could relax a little bit. But no, in the beginning, you gotta come out strong, like you said, for sure.
For me, it's all about the organization. That's why the Patriots, to me, are always, and I say team-wise, we have a better squad, but organization, they blow us out of the water.
Yeah.
And before this ends, we want to give a shout out to Georgia's mom. It's her birthday.
Appreciate that, man. I appreciate you, brother.
I love you, my brother. We'll knock some more of these out. We got to do some boxing and some UFC so we could.
Oh, 100%. Hell yeah, we got to. I already want to get on that groove for sure. And I'm going to get you back on to talk about the Dolphins like maybe mid-season around there. But before I get out of here, guys,
it depends how they're playing.
Yeah. No. Still, you going to come on. Guys, you can follow me on Twitter at George Mike Perez, at IG, TikTok, YouTube at GMike Media _, and then the podcast audio version itself is under the G Perspective on all podcast platforms. Josh, hey, thank you, man. Thank you again for your time, and I'll have you back on soon, my brother.
Love you, my brother. Love everything you got going on, man. Good luck.
Man, love them.